The federal government has blocked one of the biggest Chinese foreign investment bids ever made in this country. The Treasurer has cited national security concerns, saying he can't allow either of two Chinese companies to take control of the New South Wales electricity network. The companies have a week to appeal or change their bids, but the government is unlikely to change its mind. Political editor Chris Ullman.
Ausgrid supplies power to more than 1.5 million customers from Newcastle to Sydney. And today the Treasurer pulled the plug on the only two bidders lining up to buy it.
When it comes to foreign investment, particularly in an asset such as this, the national security issues are paramount.
On offer was a 99-year lease on just over 50% of the government business. The bidders were both Chinese companies, the Hong Kong-listed Cheung Kong Infrastructure and the world's largest infrastructure company, China's state-owned State Grid. It's a preliminary call and the companies have a week to respond, but the Treasurer doesn't sound very receptive.
We have been unable to identify mitigations which we will believe would be suitable.
And that blows a $10 billion hole in New South Wales infrastructure plans.
No matter what the outcome in a week's time, this is a valuable asset with a lot of interest.
Both State Grid and Cheung Kong are already major stakeholders in the South Australian and Victorian electricity transmission and distribution networks, and between them have interests in the Queensland, South Australian, Victorian, New South Wales, Northern Territory and ACT gas pipelines. So that raises a question. Why block this sale and why now?
The only person who's security cleared in this room to be able to hear the answer to that question is me.
Rewind to October last year and the sale of the Port of Darwin to a Chinese company, a deal that blindsided and outraged the United States. In the wake of that sale, the Treasurer made two crucial appointments to the Foreign Investment Review Board. David Peever, an executive who conducted a deep review of defence operations, and former ASIO boss David Irvin, a man who believes foreign intelligence activity in Australia is now at Cold War levels.
We are seeing a growth in espionage and foreign interference against Australia, both through cyber and more traditional methods.
It's clear that the government believes that selling strategic assets to companies with deep ties to Beijing is an unacceptable security risk. That view won't change in a week. But some in the intelligence community believe it's woken up to the risks way too late. Chris Ullman, ABC News, Canberra.